Hi guys, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Y'all, let's do some more practical, easy, springy paper crafting. Stay tuned. So in a previous video, we made these two really fun little mini notebooks using one piece of 12 by 12 cardstock and 2 pieces of chipboard. Now today we're going to do something similar but different, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So when we made these, we did a fold over to create pockets at the bottom. We're not doing that fold over today. I am going to show you exactly what we're doing, and this is so sweet. It is the same size as the other, 4 by 4. We're using chipboard and a smaller piece of paper this time. So what we'll be making today is a notebook within a notebook. And what do I mean? Well, you can see the pages that we have here. And again, this is decorative printer paper. So if you go online and do a search for decorative printer paper, I even defined my search even more by putting in 8.5 by 11 printer paper. Then you're going to get so many possibilities, and there are so many beautiful papers out there to choose from. But again, this is decorative printer paper. I didn't add the print to this. I didn't run it through my printer to make it print on here. I purchased the paper already with the print. So hopefully you're able to see that we have our decorative paper here. And on the sides, we have 2 small pull-out notebooks. And when we go over the supplies that we'll need to make this project, I'll show you this a little more in detail. So y'all know what time it is. It is time to get started. And here is the project that we will be making today. And here is the project that we'll be making today. It is 4 by 4 with a 1/2 inch spine. And when you open it, you have these beautiful papers that you can write all types of notes on. Absolutely fabulous. But what makes this one a different version from the other one, we have these 2 pull-out notebooks. So if you don't want to carry this entire thing, even though it's not that big, you can pull this out. If you know you need to make a quick note, you can make that note in this beautiful little portable notebook. Then we have another one in the back. So this really is like a mini traveler's notebook without all the bells and whistles of a traveler's notebook. It is all about getting to the point of note-taking or jotting down something that might have been of interest to you in the moment. But this is so sweet and so easy to make, and this makes a great gift. And if you pair it with the other one, you give both versions, you have really given the person that's going to receive this some options. Now they can choose whether they want to take the one with them that has the pockets, or they need some extra writing and they're going to pull out one of these little slide-out notebooks. Totally up to them. But this makes a great partner to the one that we made in a previous video, and I will have that video linked in the description box below, so make sure that you check it out. All right, guys, so this will be a chipboard project, and if you don't have chipboard, please use whatever it is you have available to you. I know some of you are using doubled up cereal boxes, or the hard cardboard that might come in a paper pack that you receive, or the backs of some of the paper pack books that you receive. It is a matter of getting creative. If you don't have the chipboard, please use whatever you have available to you. So we have 2 chipboard pieces that measure 4.5 by 4.5. We have 2 pieces of decorative cardstock that measure 4 by 8. We have a piece of decorative cardstock that measures 9.25 by 11. And when you cut this piece, you're going to be left with this piece, and that's what we're going to use to make those holders for the folders in our book. So don't throw this out. My piece right now measures 2.5 by 12. Then I have 25 pieces of 4.75 by 4.75 decorative printer paper. And again, this is not paper that I have printed or colored. This is paper that was bought and looked just like this. And the paper that I'm using is from Xyron, and it's the Morning Dew collection. And the name of this paper is Serene. And the SKU is 83416245757. And then I'll also be using a sticker sheet from Xyron to kind of help decorate this. And it is the Memory Lane sticker sheet. And the SKU is 8341613. 362. And then I'll be using 20 pieces of 8 by 3 7/8 inch decorative printer paper. We will have to trim this, but start with 8 by 3 7/8. All right, so the first thing that we'll be doing is we're going to take our piece that measures 9 1/4 by 11, and on the 9 1/4 inch side, we're going to score this at 1 and at 5 1/2. So then we are going to fold and burnish those scores. And now you're going to have your piece that looks like this. You will have this piece that is going to be the fold over from the bottom. So let's go ahead and take our 2 pieces of chipboard that measure 4 1/2 by 4 1/2, and we're going to place those down. And when we place it down, we're placing it down so that we're butting it up against the score mark. So let's go ahead and place our second one. And when I place this one down, I'm going to place it down, giving myself about 1/2 inch in spacing, and then I'm going to match it up with this one. And now I'm going to take my finger blade and I'm going to cut here and cut here on both sides. So I'll make my cut, and I'll make another cut. So I have removed that. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to make my cut, and I'll make another cut. Then I'm going to come to the score mark here, and I am going to make an angle cut on both sides of the score mark on both sides of this project. So I'll cut here and cut here. We'll come over to this side and do the same thing. So I'm going to cut here and cut here. Then I'm going to bring in my ruler, and I'm going to take my ruler, make sure that I have it against the edge of my chipboard, and I'll angle it in just a little bit. I'm not angling in a whole lot. And then I'll trim away that excess. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to take my ruler, butt my ruler against that chipboard, and then I'll turn it in just a little bit, not a whole lot. As a matter of fact, I think I have it turned in too much. So then I am just going to trim away the excess. And now we have the jacket portion of our project. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take some tape, and we are going to run tape along the edges. And we'll go ahead and fold over the 3 sides, and then we'll fill in. So I'm just going to remove that tape. I'll fold this up. Making sure I get it nice and stuck in between the 2 pieces. And then I'll take these pieces and I'm going to fold them over. But before I do, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue right there on both ends because I might not have tape coverage. So I'm just going to fold that over now, and I'll fold this one over. And now we have this piece. So I am going to go ahead and take my tape. If you have a wide tape, that's going to work too. But what's going to happen is we're going to take this piece and fold it over. So I am going to take my tape, and I am only going to place my tape to cover the chipboard, not the paper. So I am placing my tape all over my chipboard. Now we can peel away the tape backers. And then I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to place tape all along the outer edge of my fold over piece. So I'm getting as close to the edge as I can. And now I'll peel away these backers and we are ready to do our quick and easy fold over. So when you're working with smaller pieces like this, you can use that one piece to fold over and do your liner so that you don't have to worry about cutting out and measuring a liner. So let's take that piece, pull it over, and we'll get it stuck. And I'm going to use my big old spatula to get everything nice and stuck. Then I'll also use it to go in, get my spine nice and defined. I'm going to take it, use it to go around my edges to make sure everything is nice and crisp. And then I'm going to take my jacket, go to the outside, and just fold and crease along that spine. And so if you want, I am not placing any chipboard in this because I'm using a fairly thick paper, so that's going to give me a thick spine. Also gives me the flexibility that I might need if I wanted to fold this backwards. But if you want to place a spine in yours, you can just place a 1/2 inch piece on the inside. Sometimes I'll place a chipboard spine, sometimes I won't. It just really depends on what I feel like doing in that moment. So now that we have this, let's go ahead and make the holder for the 2 small notebooks that we'll be putting on the inside. So I am going to grab my piece that measures 2.5 by 12. I am going to score at 1, and then at 2 1/8. Then I'll take this and I'm just going to fold on those score marks and get a good burnishing. Now you can close this with glue if you want. I am just going to close mine with tape. So I'll take that tape, I'm going to place it on the inside first. And then I'll peel that piece away, fold that over, then I'll take my tape and place it along the outer edge of the other side. And then I'll peel away that backer, fold that over, get it nice and stuck, and it's going to be the same pattern as this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take this and just place it right in the middle, and I'm going to place this down using just a little bit of my Reptile Glue. So when I place that Reptile Glue, I'm placing it right there on the end. Then I'm going to take this piece and place it down. Now I'm placing mine in the middle. Maybe you don't want yours in the middle, so just place it wherever you want it. Then I'm going to use my big old spatula to go in and get that stuck. And those of you who haven't used Reptile Glue before, it is a pretty good stick. So once this is dry, it is stuck. So I am just going to lift this piece And I'm placing some glue right on the edge of the project piece itself. And then I'll take this piece, place it down, and now I can use my finger blade just to trim away the excess. And then I'll use my big old spatula just to kind of help force that into the first paper, and it looks like it's just a part of it. So now I can take this piece on the other side and we'll do the same thing. So I'm going to take some glue, place it at the very bottom, and as you can see, I'm not placing a whole lot of glue. And I'll take this, I'm going to place it down. Let's get that stuck. And then I'll fold this backwards, and I'm just going to place my glue right along the top there. I'll lay it down, then I'll use my big old spatula just to push that glue outward. Now I can flip this over and remove that excess. So we basically used one 12 by 12 inch sheet to get this beautiful look. Now we're going to go ahead and make those folders. So I'm going to bring in those two pieces that measure 4 by 8, and all I'm going to do is fold them in half. And then I'm going to bring in my pieces that measure 8 by 3 7/8. And all I'm going to do with those, I have already folded most of them, but all I'm going to do with these is fold them in half and then just stack them inside of each other. So I'm going to go ahead and finish folding these. And then all you have to do is take them and just stack them inside of each other. And I'm putting 10 in each one of my stacks. So then I'm going to take my book, and we're just going to put it in the book to see how much we actually need to trim away. So I'm not going to trim any from the book, but I can see that I need to trim some of that overhang. And we get that overhang because anytime you're stacking papers one inside of the other, you're basically pushing them forward, and we need to reduce it. So I am going to bring in my ruler, and I'm going to take off about a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch. If you want to place it in your trimmer, you can. I'm not, because all we're doing is really cleaning up that end. So now when I take this and put it in my folder, everything should be on the inside, and it is. So now I'm going to bring in my long arm stapler, and you don't have to have a long arm stapler for this. I just happen to have one. Your regular stapler will work if you just open it up and position it where it needs to be. So I am going to take this long arm, line it up, and punch my staple. And when I'm punching from the back side or the outside of the book. So this is where I'm actually punching. Now, if you're interested in the long arm stapler, I will have a link for it in the description box. But like I said, you really don't need it. Your project will work without it. So now we have one of our 2 books. I'm going to take that second set, do the same thing, and I can see that I need to trim. So I'm going to remove these pages and remove about 1/8 of an inch, maybe slightly, just a little more than 1/8 of an inch. So now I can take this one, we can place it on the inside, and you can see that even when we open this, you have that beautiful inside. So I'm going to take this, open it, line up my stapler and punch. I don't always get it centered, but you know what? That's close enough. And punch. And my staples are on the inside. So now I can fold this over. And I'm just going to use my big old spatula to go along those edges so that this will lay nice and flat. Then I'm going to take my ruler and place my ruler in here because this is really tight right now. We want to loosen it just a little bit so that we can slide our sweet folders in. So I'll take this one folder, slide it in right there. Cute. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to take my ruler, go underneath, and just loosen that a little bit so it will be ready to take my second folder. So I'm going to take that second folder and just place it in. And so now I'm going to do just some very light decorating. I'm not doing any decorating to the folders. You can, but I'm leaving mine plain. I am going to take this little sticker here that says "So Grateful," and this one here that says "So Thankful," and place those right there just to sort of add some contrast and break everything up just a little bit. Now we get to add our pages. Those pages, when we place them down, are going to sit right in the center of that spine. So I am going to grab my clips. This really is one of those projects you can do without the clips because this is so thin. So then I'm going to take my glue and I am just going to add a series of dots going along the top, being very generous. I'll take my finger and I'm just going to spread that glue, making sure that I get any from the front and the back of my paper. Now I can remove my clips. I'm going to take my little booklet and just place it down in the center of that spine. I'll check the front and the back, and then I'll press down, and you can tell when I'm pressing down because you can see the body of the jacket is moving. And just make sure you get it nice and stuck. Now, if you have used enough glue, this is going to set and harden nicely, and your pages will not come out. And whenever I don't want my pages to come out, I use Reptile Glue. If I want it to tear away, I'm going to use hot glue. So for books like this, I am using permanent adhesive, and that's why I'm using the Reptile Glue. The other day, you guys saw me do some tearaway pads, and I used my hot glue because I wanted the tear away. So then I'm going to fold this. I'll use my big old spatula to go along that back. Then I'll open it again, press down, and I'm just going to repeat this process a couple of times just to make sure that I have good contact between the adhesive and the paper. And I'm pretty sure that I do, but I'm going to go over that back one more time. And isn't that pretty? And so while the glue is drying on the inside, I'm going to go ahead and do some very light decorating to the front. We are not going to do much to this because A, I'm a minimalist, and B, it's a very small piece, so it doesn't require a whole lot. But I am going to take one of my little 2x2 squares, and I'm going to place it down, and then I'll trim around it. So then I have this piece, and I am going to add just a little bit of a gold background to this. So I'm using my tape runner to place this down. I'll take this piece and I'm going to place it down on that beautiful shimmery gold. And this is from Anna Griffin. And then I'll trim out. And we will trim. Let me trim that a little bit straighter. And now I can place that on the front of my book. And I'm going to place it on the front using my Reptile Glue because I want to make sure that my edges don't peel away, that everything stays nice and stuck. And I am going to take that and place it down like that. And now, my lovelies, we have a beautiful 4x4 mini that has 2 pull-out pockets and some wonderfully beautiful printer paper that you can jot your notes on. Now, this is not completely dry, so I am not going to go through the page flip through because all the pages are the same, and I want to make sure that I give this a chance to dry. And when I'm making books like this, I normally let them dry completely about 4 hours before I even really try to start turning them. But I want you guys just to see how gorgeous this actually is and just how sweet these little booklets are. So these make a great complement to this little 4x4 notebook because now you have extra places that you can just pull out to make more notes, and we can never have enough places to write notes. So I am going to bring in the first one, and it is dry, so I can do a flip through and show you guys just how sweet and professional this actually is in presentation, and that's exactly what you want. Whether you're gifting it or giving it, you definitely want it to be something that has that professional look to it and not something that you just threw together. And remember, change the paper and this becomes any season, any reason, any gender. There is absolutely no reason why this is not a crossover for anyone who would want to carry a little book or have a need to carry a little book. So guys, I hope that you have liked this super deliciously cute project. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you join. You are so welcome here. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you will know when I upload a new video. As always, you guys, please be safe, be kind, happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.